Hey, I guess you want to follow along on one of my workouts. I would love that. But I think there are some basic rules we need to establish and things we should go over first. So let's do that. Your safety is my #1 priority when making these workouts. So please, go see your physician if you have any underlying heart conditions before performing one of these workouts. To monitor your heart rate throughout the workout, if you have an Apple Watch or a wearable, that's preferable. While we're on the note of safety, remember, I can't physically fix your form if I'm not with you in person. So I need you to replicate these movement patterns to the best of your ability with perfect form. You're going to also hear audible cues. So if you have headphones in loud environments, it's going to help you understand what you should and shouldn't be doing. To get the most out of these workouts, simply set your phone or tablet up, follow along with the instructions and try to keep pace, and just work hard. Some workouts might use equipment where it's unsafe to watch the video while trying to perform the exercise at the same time. So for these, I advise watch the video, then rewind, set your phone up off to the side, and then perform the exercise while only listening to the audible cues. Use your own best judgment for this. Oof, that made things awkward. And that's essentially it. Follow these workouts, work as hard as you possibly can, and on a week-to-week basis, make sure you're thinking of increasing one variable like weight or reps or tempo or something. The last thing I want to say is just a thank you. The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you're willing to dedicate energy and time to try to better yourself, and the fact that you're using me as a resource to do so really does mean a lot. So thank you with all my heart, and enjoy your workout. Welcome. Today, you're going to be performing a travel, intermediate, lower body and core workout. The only piece of equipment you're going to need for this is a couple of mini bands and a lacrosse ball, so you don't need to travel with much at all. I just finished with it, and it was pretty tough. I hope you're ready for the challenge. Work hard, hydrate throughout, and have a little fun. Enjoy. Before we get started with our workout, we're going to do some soft tissue work. If we've been traveling, this is going to help improve fluid dynamics, promote blood flow. If we've been sitting on our butt in a seat stationary for a long duration of time, this is really going to help the tissue of our glute be able to activate better and also stretch throughout these positions we get into. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a lacrosse ball. I'm going to set a timer for 45 seconds. Lacrosse ball, corner of my glute. I put my hands behind myself and then I support my body weight. Now from here, opposite leg bent, I'm going to let the leg fall to the ground that the lacrosse ball is on the glute. And while taking deep breaths, I'm just bringing my knee up and down, trying to get this tissue to relax on top of this ball. Again, I'm just searching, I'm rolling around, looking for spots that are really tender. If you find it, just stay still. Because we sit so much and how we sit in modern chairs, we really mat down our glutes, and our glutes can't fire and activate as well. And if we don't activate our glutes or know how to, our likelihood of our lower back getting tight or just not working correctly to take the load off our back dramatically increases. Okay, good, 45. Let me switch sides. We're gonna try to be pretty efficient with this. I know you guys are traveling if you're doing this workout and you don't have any equipment, that's not a problem. We just need to travel with our mini bands and this lacrosse ball. And we got everything that we need and we can get a great workout in. And again, keep the momentum of just putting your body at as a priority. Deep breath. And we might as well have some fun with it too. I mean, if you got a nice hotel room, you're put up for business right now, or you're on vacation, take care of yourself. At the end of the day, I think you'll have a more successful day and you'll be proud of yourself. Deep breath, still, again, searching for tissue that's real tight and painful. If you're someone who's smaller and you don't have as much body mass, this might be really painful to be in this position. Okay, next. Good, I'm gonna turn this off. We're gonna work on our calf and our hamstring. We're gonna lay down face up. I'm gonna again set another timer, this time only for 30 seconds. And I'm gonna smash my calf and my hamstring together with the ball. When I find a spot that's painful, I make some small circles. Again, move it further down, new spot on my calf, smash it together, small circles. Now again, depending on your body mass, this may be more painful or less painful. You can switch more to the corner now of my calf. And again, if you've been sitting, the tissue is going to be a little bit more dehydrated, especially if you've been flying, you're going to be dehydrated. Okay, that's the 20 seconds, but I'm going to do one last spot here, closer to my Achilles. Good, and let me switch sides. give you a different angle here. Okay, again, close this, reset the timer. Okay, pull my calf down and circles. Deep breaths. After we finish this soft tissue work, we're gonna do a little bit of movement prep, and we're gonna try to take some joints through some large ranges of motion. I hope this is a good view of how to do this, and this isn't just a view of my tushy. Definitely not my most flattering angle. I wonder what is. I'm a pretty tall guy, so I guess a lot of people look up at me, so I hope the angle from my chin upward is pretty good. Okay, good. Next up, we're gonna get into a tabletop or a push-up position. We're gonna do 10 repetitions of a lunged rotation. I find this one of the most efficient ways of us lengthening out a lot of tissue at once. So from a push-up position, if you're not strong enough, you can do this from your knees. Push-up position, right foot comes all the way up, rotate my right arm up to the ceiling, elbow comes down to the ground, and now I switch and reset. Left foot up, left arm up to the ceiling, elbow to the ground, that's 1. I'm gonna do 10 each side. Now again, if this is too challenging or you're not mobile enough for this, or it hurts your wrists, come down to your knee. Practice from your knees. Again, we're gonna do 10 and 10. Deep breaths. This is a way just for us to get a light sweat going. Again, we're doing lower body and core stuff today, so hence why our focus here predominantly on lower body mobility and promoting blood flow to that tissue down there. Today, we're gonna burn a good amount of calories in this workout. We're gonna work through some functional movement patterns and definitely get you feeling less tight if you've been sitting in a plane or a car for long durations of time. 3 more each side. And I think the consistency thing, if we're doing this when we're traveling and we're making that effort, I think the consistency of working out frequently, it's gonna continue to put the good eating habits at the forefront of your thoughts as well. The compounding of, let me try to get sleep. Let me try not to drink in excess. If you're someone who's smoking, this will help you probably quit smoking because you're really thinking about your health constantly, especially working out takes a lot of effort. That's 10, so good. There's our warm up. We're gonna take a second, and now we're gonna go to the actual workout. So I'll see you there in a sec. Circuit number 1, 3 movement patterns. We're gonna perform all 3 in a row. When you finish, you get a small rest, and then we perform this circuit 2 more rounds. The only piece of equipment we're gonna need is a light mini band. We're gonna start the circuit by us doing a reverse lunge, but in shoulder extension. So we're working on some shoulder mobility with our mini band at the same time. When we're finished with that, we're gonna get into a tabletop position and do some fire hydrants with the mini band, working our hips and our core. Third, final thing, we're gonna do some bird dog, is one of my favorite spinal stability exercises, but we're gonna spice it up again with the band. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna be doing some reverse lunges, but again, shoulder extension, right? So our arms are gonna be back behind us. So we're gonna take our mini band, we're gonna hold it with both hands, pull apart while I have a neutral grip, and I'm gonna lift my arms up as high as I can. You'll feel a stretch in the front of your shoulders. From here, I do a reverse lunge, I keep my forward torso angle forward, I stand tall. I'm gonna do 15 repetitions per leg. I'm taking deep breaths. I'm focusing on most of my weight being over this front leg. If you're someone that's not strong enough to be doing this much volume, you can take your hands, remove the band, use something for assistance, use your arms on a couch or something, or the bed in your hotel room. If you're in a hotel gym, use a bench, use something. 13, almost there. And again, here I really pull my arms up nice and high. I pull my shoulder blades back, opposite leg. I like to do one leg first, work on the weaker leg between the two. Get that knee all the way down, full range of motion. If your knees bother you, take a larger step back behind you. Go into less knee flexion in this front leg. If you want to work your quads more, take a more shallow step. Almost there. I've done a bad job of keeping my neck neutral. I would keep your head up instead of looking down the whole time. We look down at our phones enough as it is. One for good luck. Ooh, shoulders are burning from that. Okay, number 2, I mentioned that tabletop position. So let's take our mini band. Let's put it right under our knees, okay? Now, let's get into that tabletop position. We're gonna do 15 reps per side. I'm gonna press myself up in the air. My knees are barely hovering off the ground. From here, I abduct one hip open, my other knee stays stationary, and I just hold this position while doing that with my hips. 15 per side, so let's get started. I hold it for a split second. I'm slow with when that knee comes back down. I'm not letting it yank me back into position. I have a nice neutral spine. I'm not rounded. I'm not arching my back. Deep breaths. Your quads just worked on those lunges, so you're gonna feel this in your quads. You're gonna feel it in the outside of your hip, your abductors of your glute. Big point of doing this is to fire those guys. That's why we did that lacrosse ball in the beginning. 15, okay, opposite side. Again, tabletop. Open that hip up. Deep breaths. Halfway. It's one of my favorite ways to work your core and lower body. And again, you don't need much equipment. This mini band is all you need here. And 15, good. Okay, next, I mentioned bird dog. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this band, we're gonna now put it on our feet, okay? Boom, just over the feet, okay? Next, we get into a tabletop position. Again, what I'm gonna do is from this position, I'm gonna alternate. I press one leg out and I press my arm out. Now, in the final position, I squeeze my left glute, I lock out my arm near my ear, but I'm thinking of maintaining a neutral spine. I don't wanna arch my back and go into extension. I don't wanna round. I'm trying to use stability and strength of my core to maintain a neutral spine under movement of my pelvis and my limbs. So we're gonna do 10 reps per side, nice and slow. So try to follow my pace. Press arm and leg. Smooth, I come back to the middle. I touch my hand to my knee. My back toe is dug into the ground. Again, I focus on squeezing that glute when I lock that leg out. Again, making this even more lower body intensive because of this band. Please do not go fast on this. It won't do you any good. This is one of the greatest lower back health exercises you can do because this is really going to strengthen your spine, your core in spinal stability, making you much more resilient. If you're walking with a load like a farmer's carry, carrying a heavy bag of groceries, it's a great instance of when we need spinal stability, of when our core needs to be strong. I keep thinking of like tucking my pelvis as I'm doing this to make sure I don't go into too much extension, because that's the natural tendency. 3 more. 9, last one, and 10. Whew, and there you have it. That's our first grouping of 3 things. Let's take a small rest. We're gonna come back, do 2 more rounds of this, and then we'll move on to some new stuff. But I'll see you for the next round in a sec. All right, circuit number 2, again, 3 exercises in a row. You get a short rest, 3 rounds of this. The equipment we're gonna need here is probably a light and a medium mini band. I think you're gonna want 2 different mini bands here. The first exercise we're gonna perform is gonna be a lateral lunge with a rotational press with the mini band. So we get to work on a big range of motion with our hips, work on some thoracic rotation and external rotation from our shoulders. Great one. When we're done with that, we're gonna do some side plank clamshells, working on general core strength as well as more abduction strengthening our hips. Third, final thing, more core. We are doing mountain climbers, but banded, working our hip flexors and our core a little more than normal. So let's get started. First thing I mentioned is going to be those lateral lunges. Let's grab a light mini band for this one. So around our wrists, what we're going to do is we're going to take a step to the side, right? I'm going to say it's about double shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. We're going to step to the side. When we get there, we push our weight that direction. I also push my butt back, right? My knee's not tracking too far forward. I rotate my torso in the direction I stepped from, and then I press my arms out. I then bring them back to my chest like a bench press. I rotate, and then I come back. So I'm segmenting this, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That was 2. We're gonna do 12 per side. I step, turn and press, bring it back and rotate. Again, there's a lot of moving parts here, so take this slow. But this is gonna be one of the better exercises you can do as a full body movement for working on spine health, thoracic rotation. You're working on your shoulder health, pulling this apart, working your external rotators. And then I get to take my hips through a big range of motion. Really benefiting a lot of stuff. Again, if we're traveling, we don't have much time to work out, we wanna be efficient, take our joints and musculature through a lot of ranges of motion, activate a lot of tissue at once. 10, don't let this knee collapse in, right? Make sure we think of opening that hip up. 11, try to get rather low. If you can't get that low, that's okay. 12, okay, now opposite direction. Let me show you from another angle. So I step over to my left, turn my torso, rotate, press. Deep breaths. As you can see, I'm trying to get my butt to about a 90-degree angle, same as my knee angle, or my knee and my hips are at about the same height. Again, if you can't get there, that's okay. Just work on the rotation and press. Just get a little bit of knee flexion. I'm gonna continue it on from here. Ooh, 8. My shoulders are burning from this right now. Make sure you keep adequate tension with this band the whole time. Rotate, press. Whew, we're almost there. Last one. Open up those hips. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we're gonna get down to the floor. Give our shoulders a break here. We're gonna throw this mini band around our knees. The medium mini band, I recommend a little bit more intensity here. Kneeling, side plank clamshell. So from a kneeling, excuse my yawn, side plank position, my hips come forward, they're up in the air. I retract my shoulder blades. Now I take my top hip, I open it as much as I can, my feet are just on top of each other. I close, 15 reps per side. Really pushing through my bottom hip to get my hips up in the air, same with the shoulder. Make sure I retract my shoulder blades. Good stable base for this shoulder to be in. Trying to hold it for a split second at the top. Get to work both abductors, same with that tabletop fire hydrant we did. Same type of tissue, just now a little bit more band. And last one, good. To a 180, whew. Sweating, keeping our heart rate up, it's good stuff. And this pairs well with the lateral lunge because our heart rates go up a lot from that. It worked a lot of tissue. We get somewhat of a break here because we're on the floor. I know this is challenging, but it's just lets us recover just enough so we can move on to those mountain climbers after this. Good, keep those hips up high. Almost there. Again, it's so important we got strong glutes. The stronger that tissue, the more stable you're gonna be too when you're moving around in life, and as you get older, that's so important for hip health. Okay, last thing. Light mini band, really recommend the light one here. This is a challenging one. We're gonna get into a push-up position. If it's too challenging throughout this movement, do it from your knees, okay? You can do mountain climbers this way from your knees. Just be careful with the band, make sure your back foot stays on the ground. We're gonna do 12 repetitions per side. From a push-up position, one knee up, one Mississippi. Switch, one Mississippi. Deep breaths, two. Now I work my hip flexors a little more because I got this band on, as well as my core is a little more active. If this hurts your wrists, you can always come down onto your forearms, and then we'll watch some of the wrist protocol videos. Try to fix your wrist flexion, your ability to get into wrist flexion. Almost there. As you can tell, I'm not rushing this. I really want this to activate and work my core. 11 last ones, and 12. Ooh-wee. There you have it, another great circuit. Let's take a little bit of rest. You guys got 2 more rounds of this. Meet you at the last circuit. Last circuit, 3 more exercises. Only equipment we need is a medium and a light mini band again. First movement pattern, we're gonna do some tempo squats banded, so we're working our hips, our abductors as we're doing our squat pattern. Really slow time under tension, it's gonna make it pretty tough. When we're done with that, we're gonna do some standing fire hydrants, again, working on abduction of our hip, working our glute, but now we're working a lot of stability in our ankle and our leg that's on the floor. And then third, final movement pattern we're gonna perform is gonna be a dead bug, except now we're gonna do it with our hands banded to work our shoulders and external rotators again. So let's get started. First thing I mentioned, we're gonna do those tempo squats. So I'm gonna take the medium mini band, place this guy right below my knee, feet shoulder width apart, and then from here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're doing 12 repetitions of 3 down and 3 up. Again, I think of corkscrewing my feet. My feet are straight. They're about shoulder width apart. Really trying to open my hips up and create space for me to be able to keep a vertical torso angle. Slow, slow, slow. Hands out in front of yourself is going to help you counterbalance yourself and stay a little bit more upright. Do a couple of these from the side, halfway. Slow, as you can see, I'm trying to keep an upright torso angle. If your squats look more like this, that's okay. We just got to get a little more ankle flexion and get your knees forward so you can stay a little bit more upright. That'll pay dividends in the future if you're holding loads to your chest or on your back. Your lower back might overwork if we don't fix that. Almost there, 2 more. Quads are burning. We saved this for the end to make it harder. That's why we did our single-legged stuff first, because this might be too easy if we started the workout with this. Last one. And good. Okay, now we're gonna keep the band where it is. We're gonna go up to a wall. I'm gonna place 1 foot up against the wall. I know I'm the right distance away when my back knee is behind my front knee, okay? My foot is about a foot up on the wall, 1 foot down on the ground. From here, I'm gonna open up my hip as much as I can, just like those clamshells, and come all the way back down. Open up, all the way down. I'm doing 15 repetitions. Now, this knee and this glute has to really fire to keep this knee stabilized because it's gonna wanna internally rotate. And this glute's job is to externally rotate. So think of corkscrewing your foot into the ground. I got a slight hinge forward. I'll do a set on this next so you can see me from the side. 11, almost there. Really fighting to open up that hip. 15, okay, good. Next, right foot forward, left foot behind. Again, you can see the hinge I got a slight bend in my knee, and I open up, abduct that leg as much as I possibly can. Home stretch. I know your legs are burning. All we use today is a mini band. It's incredible. You don't need much equipment if you program correctly. Almost there. 14, last one. 15, whew, okay. Now we're gonna hop down to the floor. We're gonna do that mini band overhead press. So what I'm gonna do is get into a dead bug position, lower back down on the ground, both hands inside of a mini band, pull this apart. I'm gonna do an overhead press with my hands every time I lock one leg out in a dead bug. Most important part here though, hollow belly, right? I'm pushing my lower back against the ground. I cannot fit my hand in. So go into that posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, pull that band apart. Ooh, we got 20 total, 10 each leg. I'm not rushing. I'm counting 1 Mississippi each direction. Really taking my time. Really pulling this band apart. Thinking of my wrists are wider than my elbows. Yep, think of external rotation. Oh, I'm getting caught off here. If you want to make this harder, you can keep one leg out the whole time. You can add some volume, whatever you want to do. I'm going to even it out. I had 3 left. I'm going to do 1 last rep each side. Oh, and ooh, all right. There you have it, guys. That's the last circuit. So let's knock 2 more rounds of that out, and then we're done. So I'm going to see you at the finish line. I got a message for you. I'll see you in a sec.
Navego por su piel, por esa mujer. Voy a ser fiel, por esa mujer. Te juro que voy a ser fiel, voy a ser fiel. Me envicié de su sabor a miel. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Si va a haber boda, pero yo soy su lobo y sabe que es mi loba. Yo sé que te sientes igual, así también. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, como tú no hay otra. Ya no caigo un metal, ya ni tengo que pensarlo. Que me quería drenar, mi corazón sabe recargarlo. Yo que estaba vulnerable, pero ahora mismo me siento como un champion. La movie tú me la entiendes, no hace falta caption. Devorando la toa, no sé si va a haber boda, pero yo soy su lobo y sabe que es mi loba. Yo sé que te sientes igual, así también. Navego por su piel, por esa mujer. Voy a ser fiel, voy a ser fiel. Por esa mujer, te juro que voy a ser fiel, voy a ser fiel. Me envicié de su sabor a miel. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, como tú no hay otra. Vente, vamos de viaje, ya no estás sola. Pate masaje, yo amo tu popola. Mi cholo en el traje, que no te faje. No es agua, yo sigo sonriendo como colgate. De una me rescataste, de lo malo me separaste. Yo en la calle hacía disparate. Tú eres mi bebé sota, tu gato con botas. De tanto tener sexo terminó la cama rota. Devorando la toa, no sé si va a haber boda, pero yo soy su lobo y sabe que es mi loba. Yo sé que te sientes igual, así también. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, como tú no hay otra. Ya no caigo un metal, ya ni tengo que pensarlo. Que me querían drenar, mi corazón sabe recargarlo. Yo que estaba vulnerable, pero ahora mismo me siento como un champion. La movie tú me la entiendes, no hace falta caption. Devorando la toa, no sé si va a haber boda, pero yo soy su lobo y sabe que es mi loba. Yo sé que te sientes igual. así también. Navego por su piel, por esa mujer. Voy a ser fiel, voy a ser fiel. Por esa mujer, te juro que voy a ser fiel, voy a ser fiel. Me envicié de su sabor a miel. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Si va a haber boda, pero yo soy su lobo y sabe que es mi loba. Yo sé que te sientes igual, así también. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, no pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos. Bebé, fue puro placer y volver a tocarnos en el sitio donde te encontré. No pudimos controlarlo. Envuelto en sentimientos, son puros sentimientos.
Congratulations on getting to the end of this workout. I'm really proud of you. You took your body, your spine, your hips through so many ranges of motion. If you've been sitting a lot, you promoted blood flow to all the tissue you should. You took your joints through large ranges of motion. You did what you needed to do for your body. Your body's gonna thank you in the future for taking care of it today. So again, thank you for working hard. Thank you for using me as a mentor and a resource to be healthier with. I look forward to seeing you at the next workout. Hydrate, adequate nutrition, get some sleep, and just keep up with the consistency. That's the hardest part of all of this, guys. I'm here for you however I can be. Please reach out. Your future self thanks you for working hard today. I'll see you soon.